Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our fans. Okay, Connie. See, one of the things that have worked for Days of Our Lives is shooting 6 months or whatever in advance. Because when you have stuff like the writer's strike and we'll sit there and say the virus, they were able to sit there and keep the show going a lot longer, and it was less of a um, wait time until the show was able to resume. The problem with the way that they shoot is when something's not working for the audience, we're stuck with that like, I don't know, 5 or 6 months until they're like, oh crap, this isn't really working. And I've seen a lot of people talk about how they're just ready for Connie to go. Right? Like they're just done. They're over her. She's annoying, she's grating, and it sucks that we have to wait so long before they're able to sit there and course correct on something that is clearly not working. So, kind of like Steffi today on Ball and the Beautiful, you got Linda yelling and screaming to, which at first I was like, okay, maybe she does live in an apartment, like somebody is bound to hear. And Kanye's they're talking about she soundproofed everything, which I'm just like, how? Like, how did you sit there and soundproof? Unfortunately, this is one of those things where it's like we just kind of have to sit there and assume that she did it. But even afterwards, she's still yelling and screaming and stuff like that. I'm like, Linda, did you not just hear what she said? On top of the fact that you didn't want to sit there and eat the food that she gave you. So you're just going to starve to death. Okay, cool. I guess you're just going to make her job a lot easier. Which, by the way, as much as I love Days of Our Lives, there are certain things that they do that you're just like, see, things like this that really got you canceled from network television where you were forced to come on a streaming service and still continue. Like, there's a point where she is talking to this, I don't, not a mannequin, but more like a, I don't know, I don't know what you want to sit there and call it. Well, like she's not there talking to this poster Lee, and I'm like, what are we doing? Why are you still having a conversation with this like mannequin kind of Lee character? And it's like she's a very logical person, so the fact that she's doing all this joking and stuff like that, and answering the questions like, oh, so you don't have anything to sit there and help me out? Oh, well, thank you for being so smart, being so much of a smart ass. I'm just like, what the hell are we doing? Right away, um, Connie continues to be her grating self when she comes across Ava. Smith is saying, oh, well, I'm glad that you got fired and you deserve to be fired, for sleeping with Gabby's husband like a skank or whatever. And, Ava's like, the old me would have pretty much floored you on the ground. Like, that just would have been it. And I'm kind of just like, I missed that. I wouldn't sit there and say I missed that version, but I was never here for that version. But I've heard great stories about her. And the fact that she's sitting there just being all smug and calling her names and stuff like that is like, it's so disappointing. Like, there's a point where she's sitting there talking to Kristen. She's all upset. She's like, "Oh, I can't believe you stepped in. You let me go over a couple of dollars and stuff like that." I'm like, Ava, you know damn well it was more than just a couple of dollars. Um, and there's another part where it's like Kristen is wondering what's going on with Melinda or what's going on with what she was going to say. Like Ava was about to say something when Melinda was not there texting Kristen these messages that doesn't necessarily sound like Melinda at that state. Like she practically was like, you can take your job and you can shove it. It's not something that Melinda would say. Um, Being that she had a conversation with her saying, listen, we're gonna just let bygones be bygones and let work be work. She was about to say something, but she decided not to because she got fired. So she's sitting there laughing, and I'm like, well, what are you laughing about? You're the one that's unemployed. Granted, that's what Connie said as well. Now, Connie was kind of funny at one point. I will sit there and give her that. When Melinda was like, well, you don't think that after a couple of days that people are going to sit there and start looking for me? And Connie was like, yeah. I mean, you got a lot of friends. Like, then there's that one person I'll probably, yeah. And she just kept going, and it was, I don't know, the way that she told it was just very funny, and it was just like, you don't really have a lot of friends that would sit there and check on you. I don't think you actually have any friends that would sit there and check. The only person that was somewhat nice to you, because of their history, was Trip. No one's going to check on you. I mean, I hate to sit there and say this, and I generally don't like using this word, but you have a lot of, well, honestly, tell you the truth, you just come across as a bitch. Like, you, no, you don't seem like the type of person that would have friends because that's just your personality. Um, so yeah. Now, Gabby is taking some black tape and dividing the house and is telling Stefan, I'm going to sit there and take you for everything that's your worth. And of course, Stefan's like, listen, I hope that one day you'll forgive me and blah, 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 blah. She says what she says, and then she walks away. Now, EJ made a very interesting observation when he was like, you know, I don't know why you would sit there and sleep with Ava. But, the heart wants what it wants because at one point, Jake was engaged to be married to Ava, and he does have Jake's heart. Now, I don't think that really makes a lot of sense. I think that's his mind, that would want to sit there and sleep with her because he was lonely and desperate and whatever sort of BS that he was trying to use to justify cheating. But this is an interesting theory. Now, she did sit there and say she was going to take everything he owns, and that includes, like, the house or whatever. But the house is EJ's the last time I checked. I don't remember it being Stefan's house. But, anyway, he just meant that, EJ just meant there just being his usual dickish self, mocking Stefan and stuff like that. Connie comes over, and Connie tells Gabby that you should also sit there and cheat. Now, she's overhearing the conversation with EJ and everything like that, and most likely, I'm assuming she's going to sit there and have a one night stand with um, EJ because why not, right? Now, Gabby went upstairs to talk to fake Abby, as I like to sit there and call her Fabby, right? And one of the things after she tells her about, Abby's, Fabby's, whatever the hell her name is, multiple personalities, she talks about Stefan. And she pretty much says that Stefan, in a way, R-word her. Now, not to get too much into a deep, deep conversation about this, but I don't know if it's as simple as what she's saying, right? Okay, so the whole thing is about consent, right? You look at a situation where an adult and a minor cannot sit and consent to blank, right? With Abby's case at the time, she had multiple personalities, right? So one of her personalities was Gabby with a Y. Gabby with a Y, I imagine she consented to Loving in the Afternoon. So when Chad and Gabby sits there and says that Stefan R-word her, is that necessarily the case? Because part of Abby's personality did actually consent to the blank, and their personalities did get integrated. So is it really the R word if a part of her actually did consent to it? I know they sit there and say it's a mental illness and everything, but that is part of her personality. I think that, like, this is what I'm saying to say. Like, I feel like there's more nuances than just simply saying, well, she wasn't in her right mind. It's like, well, that's not necessarily the case. She had another personality with completely different feelings and everything like that. That is real. It's not like a part of you is just fake. That's the other part of you. That other part of you still counts as a person. So I don't know. It just it when she brought that up, it was like when she was like, "Well, in a way, he argued." I was like, "But did he?" I don't know. Now, okay. On one hand, it was nice to see Felicity, right? Because I said this before. When Felicity showed up, I felt like she was more of a prop for Johnny and Chanel in case they wound up having that baby that might have had some sort of birth defect or even Down syndrome. So there's a point where Marcus and they're talking to Fabi. I'm gonna call her Fabi, so that's just code word for Abby because she's fake Abby. And they talk for a little bit, and Felicity overhears, and so Mark lies to her about, oh, the only person who is in trouble is Aaron because he lied about how he paid for, summer camp or whatever. This conversation doesn't really go anywhere. It's just more of talking about the parents that died, Mark stepping up and making sure, reassuring Felicity that he's always going to be there for her. Okay, fine. I guess this is supposed to be him having a human side to him because, of what he's doing. We still don't know why he's doing what he's doing. We don't understand his motive, his reasoning. We don't understand why Fabi is going along with this plan. But there's a point where after Chad talks to Thomas and pretty much lies to his face about why he's spending so much time at, EJ's place and lying about the person that's there and saying that they're saying, no, that's a friend, I got into an accident. He goes tired of that. He just feels like he feels guilty about lying. So he tells Fabi, hey, listen, I can't keep sitting there lying to Thomas like that. We're gonna have to sit there and tell him the truth. And she doesn't want to do that because I'm assuming she feels, guilty about lying and everything like that to a child. I guess it's one thing to lie to this grown ass adult, but to a child and stuff like that, saying that his mom is alive and is really not, that's a step too far for her. Now she says towards the end, well, you're gonna have to move out. I'm assuming she means moving out of Julie's place and moving back in to Damaris' place, aka Chaotic Town, which with with Abby or Fabi. Because the alternative is that Chad just stays at Julie's and she just remains there, which would not really make a lot of sense. So I don't really understand what she said when she. I really understand what she meant when she said you're gonna have to move out. I'm not really fully understanding that. Um. Yeah, I feel like that's pretty much about it. I can't think of anything else. Missed anything? I'm not live streaming tonight. Taking a rest night because, as I said in my other video, I gotta wake up super early in the morning, and it's just hell. trying to wake up at 3:45, 4 o'clock in the morning. So I'll be live streaming back tomorrow, usual time. Check the community tab always, but it's always going to be 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And so if we don't talk about this tonight, or if we don't, if I miss anything tonight, come to the live stream tomorrow and we'll sit there and talk about that as well as tomorrow's episode, which I'm just having a sense that it's going to be a good cliffhanger. I don't know why. I just feel it. And I hope that my feeling is right. I also hope that at some point we're going to sit there and get rid of this goddamn Connie chick, because I can't. I really can't. Anyway, if you could share this video, that'd definitely help. I love doing these days reviews. I love doing all 4 reviews. One day, when I'm doing this full time, I can sit there and do all 4 of them. That'd be a lot of fun. Anyway, with that being said, I'm going to go. I'll see you in the next video. Or live stream. Yes, I still got 3 more episodes. I can't wait to sit there and get done with the show. As much as I love it. It's emotional. That's all I'll say.